If you are watching this video, it means that you have problems with the carburetor. No matter if you have 2 or 4-stroke engines, the issues are the same. The information I will give you applies to all types of engines that run on gasoline, and I believe it will be useful for you. Specifically, in this video we will look mostly at outboard motors, but I am confident that you will draw the necessary conclusions from many other applications such as jet ski, motorcycles, ATVs, generators, lawnmower, classic cars and many others. I will explain why when an outboard motor sits for a while without being used, it then has trouble starting and running. I will also explain what to do and how to save yourself an unnecessary headache and a couple of $100s for service. If you follow my advice, you will have more time to enjoy your hobbies. For those of you who think that by adding a carburetor cleaner this will solve the problem, I want to tell you that the probability of fixing it the easiest way is small. In order to be able to solve your problem, it is necessary to understand the reasons that lead to the clogging of the carburetor and how to avoid it in the future. Here comes the question. What causes carburetors to gum up? Ethanol acts as a solvent in older engines, and it can dissolve old gum and varnish deposits from the gas tank and fuel lines. These deposits can then clog the very small jets in the carburetor. When gasoline oxidizes, you get gum and varnish in the gasoline that causes clogs. Very often in a Vinrud and Johnson outboard motor carburetors you're going to find floats made from cork covered with clear coat for protection. In some cases the clear coat is damaged from carburetor cleaners used in the past, and ethanol will start destroying the float by peeling the clear coat and clogging the carburetor. When rebuilding a carburetor I always replace the cork floats even if they are in very good condition with new plastic ones that come with the carburetor kits. If you noticed when I test run the motors, I always disconnect the fuel line and let the outboard motor burn all the gas, so the carburetor remains completely empty and there is no possibility for gum and varnish to form. This is what I have always recommended to everyone. At the end of the day, when you get the boat on the trailer and secure it, do not rush to get it out of the water. Start the motor, disconnect the fuel line and burn all the gas out of it. Remember, the motor must be in the water to be able to cool off. Don't let it run at idle speed, that's not enough. It needs to work at medium speed. Right at the very end when it goes out, if you pull the choke you will create an additional vacuum that will literally suck all the fuel out of the carburetor. I will also recommend you to use fuel stabilizer. Because in most cases outboard motors are used only a few times per year. The fuel stabilizer products do a great job of protecting engines. These additives are primarily antioxidants. They grab oxygen that's in the gasoline, preventing it from turning into gum and varnish. Really good stabilizers work not only in the liquid gasoline, but in the air or vapor that's on top of the gasoline in the partially filled gas tank. Look for stabilizer products that say they offer vapor technology to treat the air and vapor that's floating above the gasoline in the tank. Remember, this air contains moisture. Very few people take the time to fill a gas tank after each use. Doing this minimizes the amount of available oxygen that can cause problems. When you decide to fill up your outboard tank, always fill it up no more than 90%, so the gasoline won't expand and leak out in the garage. Keep it in a safe place away from fire and direct sunlight. Remember that plastic tanks expand in hot weather and shrink in cold, so you need to leave the vent valve loose. This will get additional moisture, so fuel stabilizer is a necessity to avoid oxidation. The best and safest gas storage tanks are metal, so think about that as well. Now let's get back to the carburetor. I'm sure you already understand what causes the problem. By adding carburetor cleaner to the gas, you can't fix it. You have to clean and rebuild the carburetor. This is the only way you can achieve the results you are looking for. Don't forget the old fuel from the gas tank must be replaced with new one too. I am convinced that most of you can do the job, but for those who cannot, I will advise you to look for professional help. I also believe that after seeing this video, you will be proactive in the future and not allow this to happen again. Here are a few words why most vehicles don't have these problems. The reason you don't have trouble with ethanol in most cars is because you tend to get new gasoline on a regular basis as you drive your car each day or every other day. Ethanol-containing gasoline can deteriorate in just 30 days. Vehicles that are not driven regularly, mostly classic cars, have the same carburetor problems as those mentioned above. The difference is that with them there is no way to disconnect the fuel line and burn the remaining amount in the carburetor. To prevent classic car fuel problems, here is what I have done to my personal car. A few years ago I installed a fuel solenoid valve on one of my Opel GTs. When I know I won't be driving it for a long time, I cut off the fuel and burn the rest of it in the carburetor. The next time I have to use it, I don't need to waste my time and get my hands dirty with gasoline. Now all my classic cars have this device. I am confident that if you install a fuel solenoid valve you will be very happy too. Here are a few words about ATVs, jet ski, motorcycles, generators and many other equipments. If you add fuel stabilizer to the fuel you will prevent the gasoline from going bad for several months. By closing the fuel valve before turning off the engine, you will have the opportunity to burn all the fuel from the carburetor and save yourself a lot of trouble. For those of you who want to take an extra step, you can buy gasoline that doesn't contain ethanol. Many businesses that sell machines with small gasoline engines stock cans of ethanol-free gasoline that already have the stabilizer chemicals in it. Most people don't know of this resource. You can check Google for a local stores where you can buy ethanol-free gas like in the good old days. I hope you liked the video and the information I gave you is useful. If you want to learn more about outboard motors, classic car restorations, ATVs, motorcycles, mopeds and other equipment, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching my videos. I wish a success to all of you.